Mark, Tuesday night, spoke to Tyler after the game and in the aftermath he felt it was 2 points dropped, very frustrated. How do you look back on Stockport now we're a couple of days on?
Well, I think the circumstances of the game, that was probably our feeling, because we had good chances, obviously a penalty at the end there. We could have got in the lead with not too many minutes to go. So, yeah, in that context, yeah, it probably was 2 points lost. But I made the point after the game is that we may see further down the road that 1 point gained at a place like Stockport may well seem a really strong result and performance. So, yeah, it's a little bit too early to say whether or not it was 2 points lost or 1 point gained.
I know obviously after the Crawley game you were disappointed with the outcome there, but 3 league games into the season, how do you rate those first 3 games? 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat?
The defeat against Crawley, I think everybody assumed Crawley were just going to be, well, I don't know, what was the term? Cannon fodder or whatever term you want to use. Basically, people were underestimating their abilities, I think. We weren't. It was just the circumstances of the game that obviously damaged our opportunity to win the game. Clearly, we had some decisions go against us. We lost Daniel to sending off, so circumstances of the game weren't great. And we lost it. Since then, had good performance at Accrington, great performance at home in our first time out and got points on the board. And more points Tuesday against a very strong team that will be there or thereabouts. So I'm reasonably pleased with how it's gone.
Team news-wise, going into the weekend, I know Alex came off at half-time due to an injury. How's Alex?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a problem at the top of the thigh, and I spoke to him today actually, and he said that it feels okay. Clearly he's got something going on, so he's not likely to be available at the weekend, but hopefully it's not too damaging in terms of weeks out. Hopefully he'll settle down very quickly and it will resolve itself and we'll get him back as quick as we can, but in the short term obviously he's going to be unavailable at the weekend, unfortunately.
Jamie and Ash, the timescales for them, is that similar as
very much so. Jamie's he's still got a lot of swelling around the ankle. It's only a matter of days really after a really poor challenge from the lad on Jamie initially. So I think he's more happy, if you can be, when you've got a really sore ankle. It's obviously very swollen, but the swelling's coming down day on day. It may well take a little bit of time just because of the severity of the whack that he took, but Jamie's one of those, he'll put his hand up as soon as if he can manage the pain, he'll get to that point. The ankle will be sore, but it's about pain management, and once he feels it's good enough that it won't impair his performance or what he's able to do, then I'm sure he'll put his hand up like he always does.
Other than the 3 we mentioned, clean bill of health going into Saturday?
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, Ash, you mentioned, still will be out, but apart from that, everybody who was available to play will be available again at the weekend, apart from the ones we mentioned. A lot of the guys have had more minutes as well, so that will make them more robust. We're mindful of some of the guys that had big minutes after not having too many minutes, like Tyler. We looked at, he actually came through Tuesday really well, because he actually got more minutes on the Saturday than we initially realised. He had something like 18 minutes given the amount of time at the end. So he's had back-to-back games with good minutes, so he's up to speed in terms of that. So there's other guys that still probably need to get up to speed, and we'll see how we go with them.
On a couple of the absentees and other players getting up to speed, the transfer window is still open. Are you still thinking of bringing in bodies to counter that? And if so, what kind of positions have you identified?
Well, we're always looking at, if the window's open, then you shouldn't just close your options down by saying, no, that's us done, because you never know what might raise its head, and we'll keep an open mind in terms of what may present themselves, what deals may present themselves, because things happen, as happened in the past. and you pick up good players towards the end, as well as the ones that you've planned and are able to get over the line very quickly. So we won't close ourselves to any deals. So we're not worried about the situation we found ourselves in. It's not as if that the squad isn't strong, but if we feel something that will add to the core of the group and the strength of the group, then we'll seriously look at it.
We had a conversation about Andy following the draw at Stockport. I asked Tyler about it as well, and he said everyone was around Andy, really lifting his spirits up. The togetherness in this squad, Mark, how does that compare to other squads you've managed?
They're a really good squad in terms of that. We noticed that almost immediately during the summer when we were away. It was very evident, and that was pleasing from everyone's point of view, players and management alike. The new lads came in, and I think I've said before, I think there's an appreciation when you bring good players into a good group. Then I've always found that they're not viewed as rivals. It might be initially to the ones that suspect that they may be challenging for their position, but the idea is to make Bradford City better and more competitive, and when good players come in to help that situation, then that appreciation is reciprocated if they see it in training. And clearly the lads that we brought in have really shown that they're going to be an asset for us, so it's very easy to integrate them into the squad.
Just on that togetherness, we've heard a lot from some players about so-called coffee club. How aware of you are of coffee club, and do you not fancy
we've got
joining?
A few coffeeaficionados or whatever they're called. Yeah, we've got a few that like a coffee. Back in my day we used to like a pint, but those days are gone. But I think Harry's the chief leader of that, and he likes to discuss lattes and flat whites and have a discussion at length on them. So I encourage it. It's good that the guys socialise and like each other's company.
What would be your go-to?
I sway from lattes and flat whites. It depends if I need an extra shot to keep me going.
Very nice. Going on to Saturday, Morecambe came down from League One. Difficult season last season, but they've started quite well at home. A win and a draw. It'll be a tough test for your side.
Yeah, no easy games. It's a cliche, but it's true. Certainly this year. And any club that's been playing at a higher level and then drops down, they have a wherewithal about them. They're going to have good players within that group. Some will obviously leave when their circumstances change, but there'll be guys there that understand the league and the way they have looked to set up. Obviously, is that they get plenty of people behind the ball, out of possession, get a low block, and you have to be good enough to break them down. Obviously against Notts County, I think the possession was 75-25, something like that, and Notts County weren't able to break them down. So it will be a challenge. I don't suspect that approach will change. We'll have to be mindful that we can't afford to get caught in the break. But we just got to be creative and have a little bit of guile about us to break down a team that will set their stall out.
It is, in a way, the kind of challenge that you've come to expect since you've been at Bradford City. Teams trying to put men behind the ball and catch you on the break.
Yeah, we've faced it many times, and I just think we could probably get more strings to our bow when it happens this time, just because of the personnel we've got, and hopefully we'll be able to create chances and get around the back of their back four or back five, wherever it is, and create some chances. I suspect there will be opportunities. Clearly, we've got to take them when they present themselves and see where that takes us. But it's a difficult game. It's another away game as well. We've had plenty in the opening period of the season, so we've got to go on our travels again and compete on away grounds again. So it's a challenge when you go away from home. But like I said, I'm reasonably pleased with how we're shaping up. I think we're showing good signs. I think the ability within the group is good, and I'm encouraged by what we've been able to produce. There's more to come, I think, from this group.
It's the first time since you left the club, your predecessor Derek Adams coming up against Bradford City, which for some fans will add an extra narrative to the game. Before he left the football club, I wondered if you're aware, he said, if Bradford City were to let me go, they won't get a better manager than me. I wondered if you had heard that and if you had anything to say on that.
I've got anything to say. That's for other people to decide, I suppose. But I don't know Derek personally, so he knows that he's got an invite into the room after, as I invite everybody. So I haven't met him personally, so it'd be nice to say hello.
Thanks for your time.
No problem.
So, Mark, when there's a potential sideshow to a game, obviously a former manager, there's a bit of antagonism with the supporters over his departure. I mean, when that's happening around a game, is it a case of trying to switch off as a player and the team not get dragged into that?
Yeah, but possibly. I think it can, but sometimes that's directed at one individual. It's not directed at you as a team or whatever. So just shrug it off and get on with it. That would be my advice. And if there is that feeling within the ground, then so be it. But you've got to deal with a lot of different atmospheres, some positive, some negative, some for you, some against you. And my view is that there'll be certain situations where you probably feel you'd like to be able to answer back and you can't. But yeah, you better erring on the side of saying not a great deal and then just get through it and move on to the next one. It's time's too short to worry what people think about you. You've just got to get on with the job to the best of your ability, and that's what I've always done. That's always been my approach. I don't know if it's the approach of anybody else, but there you go.
Obviously, it will be very much built up as a underdogs Morecambe in terms of, I know they're coming down from League One, but in terms of the size of the clubs, again, it's yet one more of those games where you're going in as...
Like I said, I'm not sure about underdogs. I mean, like I said, they're coming from a higher league, so I would imagine they've still got aspirations to get out of this league as quick as possible. So they'll be viewing this season as one that it may well be an opportunity to get a quick bounce and go back up. So under no illusions, it's not an easy fixture for us early in the season where maybe we're not all bang at it in terms of being at the level I know everyone's capable of. A lot of us are now, and we're better after Tuesday as a consequence of that, but of playing Tuesday. But we'll see what goes on. It's a case of playing who you're facing and rising to the challenge and the problems that they'll present you with, and we just got to be able to recognise what we need to do in the game and get on with it and hopefully win the game. It's another opportunity. Away form, I feel, is okay at this moment in time. Not quite at the level it was last year, but it's getting there. So, another chance to improve our away form.
Obviously, loath to mention league tables after 3 games, but the fact that there's only
don't then.
there's only one team with a 100% record in this league, does that underline the point about how competitive?
Yeah, but like I said, it's only 3 games. So come back to me after 10, and then we'll probably discuss it more at length and give you more detail. But everybody wants to make a good start. I'd be more concerned if we didn't have any points on the board. We've got a decent enough return, not maximum points, but that was going to be difficult given teams and the away fixtures that we had. But no, I'm reasonably comfortable where we are. It's a long season, as we all know, you, myself and you guys included, so we're just at the beginning.
So you talk about the injured players. How's Harry Chapman getting on?
Yeah, Harry, I saw him just briefly, just before a game here. Yeah, he's out on the pitch. He's doing running. I don't think he's probably two, maximum 3 weeks away from actually joining in with the group and getting decent work within the group, and that's the first stage to really get him back playing and being available. So it's progressing well. Touch wood, no setbacks. So he's on track to come back when we thought he would.
Obviously, the season after the first month it calms down a little bit. Before, I think, busy again in October, but it's presumed when he's sort of coming back into the training, he's not going to miss that many games once he gets back in there.
No, I think initially, certainly when you first start the season, it's Saturday, Tuesday, and then September actually calms down. It's more Saturday to Saturday, and then, like you said, October it starts to crank up again, back to Saturday, Tuesday with cup games and Papa John's or whatever it's called this year, and the like. So yeah, you're right. Hopefully he'll be back around that time, and in terms of games missed this season, hopefully that will allow him not to miss too many. Let's hope so. All good.
I spoke to Harry Lewis earlier. He was quite positive, praised the formation, the approach, and the work actually Andy Cook has been doing off the ball. We saw the assist and question about that. Is that something perhaps supporters might need to be a bit more patient with and recognise the work players are doing differently slightly with the formation?
Yeah, I think people can see that we're creating more chances and we're getting in good areas, and Andy will eventually benefit from that. At the moment he hasn't quite got on the score sheet, but I said after the game I have no worries whatsoever in terms of Andy and goal scoring. He's going to get decent totals like he always does. The key from our point of view is we needed to get other guys involved as well in terms of goal scoring, and that's what we're doing. I mean, Alex Patterson started remarkably well in his career here, and we're delighted with what he's bringing to the party. Clark Adore scored at the weekend, so different guys are scoring goals for us, and that was the order of the day. That's what we wanted to see this year. Not obviously, listen, we don't care who scores as long as somebody scores, but obviously a lot of the opportunities last year fell to Andy just because that's how we set up. A lot of the time he was in the box and getting on the end of things, and everything that fell to him, Andy was able to dispatch without a minute's thought. Maybe a little bit of his issue at the moment is he's probably overthinking a few of his opportunities, and when you're one-on-one, I think we pick those out. When you're one-on-one, sometimes you have a little bit too much time to think, and Andy's an instinctive finisher. When balls come in, he just sees the ball and gets his strikes off. So he'll get back to that very soon, and the chances that we create will replicate that and enable him to do that.
You mentioned Alex Patterson there. One of the things that impressed me, I think, against Stockport on Tuesday was actually that tactical understanding. We talk about his runs into the final third, he's causing problems there, the penalty, the goal last week against Colchester. But what about tactically the team, understanding what you wanted from pre-season, bringing it into the new season? For me, at Stockport at times, under pressure, that the home member almost sucking the ball in, but you seem to get through that quite well. Yeah,
we needed a change. We had a little bit of problem initially, and then we changed it around. We dropped Clark Adore into a more central position, and Pato had to drop a little bit deeper with Richie just to address the issue we had, and we went with two up top. And certainly it helped first half. Probably second half we didn't quite stop their threats in the wider areas. Needed to get over quicker than we were doing, but I think that's more of what we need to keep on working at. It's like I said, it's new formation. Some of the guys have played this formation many times at this club and our previous club, so they have a general idea of how it should work, but maybe we approach it a little bit differently in certain aspects of what we try and do, in both defensively and offensively. So that understanding will start to build and we'll get better at it. So we need guys that are flexible in terms of being able to do the job that I'm asking them to do, but also being intelligent enough as players to recognise what's required themselves, because you need to think on your feet to a great extent. So Pato is very clearly a very intelligent footballer, knows the quality of runs and the timing of runs that he needs to make to have the maximum impact, and that's been a real positive for us since he's come to the club. Hopefully he'll be able to maintain that. There's no reason why he shouldn't, because he's going to keep on making the same runs. Teams might try and negate his threat, and possibly in the future have a game plan to try and stop him, but very difficult if he gets the timing and the pace of his attacks into the box and his ability to arrive at the correct time. It's very difficult to stop, so I would imagine he'll continue to have the same impact that he's had in the opening period.